Don't you wish you lived in a mansion? I mean, we all do. Who wouldn't want a luxurious and opulent home with numerous bathrooms? That's why it's so baffling when stunning mansions are abandoned. But it does happen, and what's discovered inside can be mind-blowing. Here are 20 abandoned millionaire mega-mansions. Pablo Escobar. Imagine stepping inside the homes of the biggest drug kingpins. These were some of the world's most dangerous people, yet also among the wealthiest. No one epitomized this more than Pablo Escobar. As the kingpin of the drug trade, Escobar, through the Medellin cartel, amassed an astonishing $425 million per week. At his peak, his net worth was about $25 billion. With such immense wealth, Escobar could afford to splurge on exotic properties. In the 1970s, when the Mexican government aimed to turn the now popular town of Tulum into a vacation destination, Escobar seized the opportunity to acquire one of the most exclusive properties, known as Casa Malca. He customized it to his liking, creating a lavish mansion that also served as a hideout from authorities, thanks to its remote location. Casa Malca remained undiscovered until about a decade after Escobar's death. In a surprising twist, this former hideout of a notorious drug kingpin has been transformed into an artistic hotel. Casa Malca now features 71 boutique suites and rooms, offering plenty of space for guests. Its prime location provides stunning views of nature, making it a perfect place to relax and unwind. This unique hotel promises a one-of-a-kind experience, truly living up to its claim. Before we move on, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more such amazing content. The abandoned $6 million mansion. One of the most perplexing aspects of abandoned mansions is that the wealthy owners who built them often left without trying to sell them or seeing if anyone else might want to buy them. Instead, they simply let these grand homes decay. A prime example is this $6 million mansion found abandoned in 2019. From the outside, the mansion is quite impressive, boasting plenty of space for various activities. The back garden and the view from the windows are equally stunning. However, the inside tells a different story. The basement is flooded and decay is everywhere due to a lack of maintenance. Despite this, remnants of its former luxury are evident. The mansion features 8 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms and 3 kitchens, indicating that the owner either had a large family or intended to host many guests. A wooden staircase connects the basement to the second floor, providing easy access throughout the house. The mansion also includes fine materials and well-designed sections for comfortable living. Yet the question remains, why would someone abandon such a grand property? Now the mansion is in disrepair, requiring significant renovation to restore it. Was there a specific reason for the abandonment? Were the families who lived here unhappy with their living arrangements? These questions may remain unanswered for a long time. Selma Mansion. Selma Mansion is a prime example of old money, dating back to a time when wealth and power were well established, even before the term millionaire existed. Located in Virginia, this property has a rich history, originating from the early 1800s. Built in 1810, the mansion was part of a 10,000-acre estate acquired in 1741 and once belonged to a former Virginia senator. The man behind Selma Mansion was Armistead Thompson Mason, who less than a decade later met a tragic end in a duel with his brother, a legal way of settling disputes at the time. After his death, Mason's widow and son inherited the property, and it remained under family control for many years. In 1890, a devastating fire destroyed most of the property, leading to its sale in 1896. This sale paved the way for the creation of the Colonial Revival Mansion, which was designed to exude luxury. No expense was spared, and modern conveniences such as speaking tubes, a precursor to intercom systems, were installed. The mansion quickly became a hub for high society gatherings and extravagant parties. Over the years, Selma Mansion changed hands several times until it eventually became recognized as a historical monument. Today, efforts are underway to preserve and restore this magnificent piece of history, ensuring that its legacy endures for future generations. Arlington House. Let's delve into history with a twist by discussing the home of a famous historical figure, the Arlington House, associated with Robert E. Lee, the Confederate Army commander during the Civil War. Situated in Arlington National Cemetery in Arlington County, Virginia, the house and Lee's Memorial overlook the Potomac River and the National Mall in Washington, D.C. What makes this story intriguing is its twist of fate. Originally built by Lee's father-in-law, the house fell into Union hands at the onset of the Civil War. The North, in a bit of pettiness, seized the property to prevent Lee from reclaiming his family's home. After winning the war, they ensured their victory by seizing the property legally through a tax law loophole. The government demanded the tax to be paid in person, knowing that Lee's relative who managed the property had arthritis and couldn't comply. But here's the twist. After the war, Lee's son sued the government for unlawfully seizing the property. Not only did he win the case, but the Supreme Court also ruled in his favor. In a final act of irony, the government repurchased the property from Lee's family for $4.7 million. The moral of the story? Trying to take a man's home illegally will inevitably lead to paying for it in more ways than one. Darul Aman Palace. Okay, let's shift gears and travel from America to Afghanistan. While the Middle East might not scream luxury, there's hidden wealth to be found. Look at Dubai for a prime example. Imagine being part of an affluent Afghan family. You'd practically have anything you desired, including a palace. Construction of this particular palace began in the 1920s. It was part of one man's ambitious plan to modernize Afghanistan, a concept still relevant today. But the story takes a surprising turn. The man behind the project declared himself king, and the palace wasn't just his new digs, it would be the nation's new capital. He hired a team of 22 German and French architects, including German engineer Walter Harton, to create this architectural marvel symbolizing Afghan-German ties. Things didn't go as planned. The king took power in 1926 but was ousted 3 years later. The so-called palace then endured a series of transformations, from a school to a warehouse and beyond. Unfortunately, its fate wasn't kind. A fire ravaged it, followed by another one during a coup attempt. As if that wasn't enough, it was bombed during the 1990s Civil War. Despite its tumultuous past, a reconstruction project got the green light, and by 2020 the fully restored palace was celebrated with a grand ceremony. Lynwood Hall. During the Gilded Age, a period marked by ostentatious displays of wealth and rampant corruption, Lynwood Hall stood as a testament to opulence. Located in Pennsylvania, this massive abandoned mansion was once the residence of tycoon Peter A.B. Widener, one of the wealthiest individuals in American history. Constructed as a tribute to his late wife, Lynwood Hall cost an astonishing $8 million to build. It boasted 110 rooms, including 55 bedrooms and 20 bathrooms, as well as an art gallery and a ballroom large enough to host lavish parties for up to 1,000 guests, a common practice among the high society of the time. Maintaining such a grand estate required nearly 100 servants to tend to both the interior and exterior. However, tragedy struck the Widener family when some of their investments, including shares in the Titanic, led to devastating losses. Peter Widener's son and other family members were aboard the ill-fated Titanic when it sank. Following this tragedy, Lynwood Hall was eventually abandoned, left to decay over the years. Despite its grandeur and historical significance, it remains a haunting reminder of both the extravagant excesses and the heartbreaks of the Gilded Age. Villa Dei. Sometimes a house becomes abandoned for reasons beyond mere neglect, like being haunted. In Italy, Villa Dei is renowned as one of the most haunted places in the world. Its eerie reputation has earned it various names, including the House of Witches and the Red House. The origins of Villa Dei trace back to Count Felix Dischi, head of the Italian National Guard and a hero following Milan's liberation from Austrian rule in 1848. Seeking solace for his family, he constructed the villa. However, tragedy struck when his wife was found murdered and his daughter disappeared. Overwhelmed by grief, the Count took his own life. Adding to the mystery, the architect who designed the villa also died around the same time. In the 1920s, the infamous occultist Aleister Crowley visited Villa Dei, where disturbing events reportedly unfolded. Today, Villa Dei is steeped in legend and lore. Tales of hauntings and supernatural occurrences abound. Its dark history and unexplained events have left an indelible mark, leading many to believe that the villa is indeed haunted, a belief I see no reason to doubt. The Sanusi Palace. The history of Haiti is a tapestry woven with complexities, tragedies, and occasional moments of inspiration. One such tale revolves around the Sanusi Palace, the former royal residence of King Henri Christophe of Haiti. Henri Christophe, a former enslaved man who fought alongside George Washington in the American Revolutionary War, played a pivotal role in Haiti's liberation from France in 1804. However, the story takes a tragic turn as Henri Christophe clashed with another revolutionary leader, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, over the governance of Haiti. Amidst power struggles and political tension, the Sanusi Palace was built, symbolizing Haiti's newfound independence. Yet Henri Christophe's reign ended tragically with his suicide due to health issues. His heirs were subsequently killed and the palace fell into ruin. While the Sanusi Palace was never rebuilt, it stands today as a poignant reminder of Haiti's tumultuous past. Despite its crumbling state, it has become a tourist attraction, offering visitors a glimpse into Haiti's history. One cannot help but wonder what might have been if the leaders who freed Haiti had set aside their differences to ensure the palace endured as a timeless monument, rather than succumbing to the ravages of time. Shui number 81. Not all ominous addresses bring misfortune, but number 81 in Beijing certainly does. This abandoned structure, a captivating French Baroque mansion built in the early 1900s, holds the chilling title of one of the city's most haunted locations. Unlike many haunted houses, number 81's history is shrouded in mystery. There are no definitive records of its construction or its original owner. However, chilling tales abound to explain its ghostly reputation. Legends speak of migrant workers suffering tragic fates within its walls, deaths, disappearances, even suicides. These stories are convenient for China's government, who have spun their own narrative. They claim a former resident callously abandoned his family for a mistress in Taiwan, deflecting from the building's unsettling past. Despite its unsettling reputation, number 81 has worn many hats. It served as a church for various denominations, including Catholics under an Irish priest. During World War II, nuns even ran a clinic within its walls. Ironically, the very reason number 81 might be haunted, the paranormal activity, now makes it impossible to sell. Apparently, even prime Beijing real estate can't compete with a good ghost story. The whispers and rumours have effectively turned number 81 into an untouchable property, a haunting reminder of the power of local legends. Sunning Hill Park House. Returning to a residence steeped in centuries of history, Sunning Hill Park House stands as a testament to the passage of time in England. Situated amidst the lush landscape of Sunning Hill Park, this estate traces its origins back to the 17th century. Originally a dense forest, this land was granted by King Charles I to a trusted acquaintance in 1630. The first significant house on the estate emerged during the late Georgian period of the early 19th century. This stucco building, with its 2 stories and subsequent additions, heralded the beginning of Sunning Hill Park's storied history. The estate's royal connections flourished when it was acquired by the royal family, intended to accommodate the King and Queen of England following their wedding. However, tragedy struck in 1945 when the house was ravaged by fire. Undeterred, the royal family embarked on rebuilding Sunning Hill Park House into a luxurious abode, featuring 6 reception rooms, 12 bedrooms and 12 bathrooms. Intended as a haven for numerous royal family members, the house stood as a symbol of grandeur and prestige. However, neglect gradually took its toll on Sunning Hill Park House, and by 2009 it teetered on the brink of collapse, slated for demolition. Yet even in its twilight years, the estate's demise was interrupted by an unexpected obstacle: bats. While their presence briefly halted the demolition process, Sunning Hill Park House ultimately met its end, succumbing to the ravages of time and neglect. Today, only memories and echoes of its former glory remain, etched in the annals of English history. $80 million glass mansion. The saying goes, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Well, here's a glass mansion that might make you want to hurl a few pebbles. Nestled in Missouri, the evergreen Crystal Palace was built as a lavish family lake house for the Plaster family. This extravagant abode boasts 300 acres, a boat dock, a helicopter pad, and get this, it's primarily constructed of glass. Marble and brass accents add a touch of grandeur, but the overall effect is undeniably ostentatious. Questions swirl around the architectural oddity. Why build such a monument only to sell it later? Critics point out the disconnect between the immense wealth required to construct such a place and the fleeting ownership. Mossman Palace. Let's jet set to Africa, a continent where opulent mansions are rarely the norm. Despite vast resources, wealth is often concentrated, leaving many nations struggling. In the 1970s, the then leader of Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of Congo, decided to flaunt his wealth. He splurged over $100 million building a luxurious palace complex in his ancestral village. Talk about returning to your roots in style. This extravagant estate boasted a swimming pool, a gold-topped fence, and an international airport large enough for supersonic Concorde jets to land. But as the saying goes, what goes up must come down. The leader was eventually deposed, his opulent palace overrun by rebels. The nation itself underwent a significant political shift, becoming the Democratic Republic of Congo. The once lavish palace now stands as a symbol of excess and a reminder of the country's turbulent past. The Mayfield House. Ireland's Mayfield House was once hailed as a national treasure. Designed by architect William Tinsley in the mid-1700s for a wealthy family, it embodied luxury. The founders of nearby Portlaw, a centre for the tanning industry, think animal hides, not suntans, even established their own leather currency. Walking through the Mayfield House must have been a truly opulent experience. However, like many industries, the tanning industry collapsed in 1985. By 1994, the once grand house sat abandoned, having served as the family's residence followed by the company's headquarters. A hospitality company bought it later, but its future remains uncertain. The Low Family Mansion. When nature reclaims a house, it's a clear sign of long-term abandonment. In Taiwan, the Low Family Mansion holds the dubious distinction of being one of the nation's most haunted locations. This three-story residence was built for the Low family, but they mysteriously abandoned it in the 1950s. Coincidentally, or perhaps not, spooky occurrences began. Some believe the Low family fled due to ghosts, while others suggest ghosts arrived after the family left. Classic ghost story tropes abound: an affair gone wrong, a tragic soldier-on-soldier accident, all adding to the mansion's lore. Today, the house is shrouded in foliage, as if nature itself is conspiring to keep trespassers out. Bruce Lee's mansion. Bruce Lee, a legend ahead of his time, passed away before witnessing the global superstardom that awaited him. A fierce opponent of stereotypical Asian portrayals in Hollywood, he challenged them through his martial arts films and acting. Though his life was tragically cut short by an allergic reaction to medication, he'd secured a taste of immense fame and fortune. One aspect of his success was a mansion he purchased in Hong Kong. However, he sold it just a year before his death. Sadly, the new owner attempted to turn it into a love hotel, sparking outrage among Lee's devoted fans. Over the years, the mansion cycled through various uses, but neglect took its toll. With minimal upkeep, the once grand structure deteriorated into a mere shell. It's safe to say this wouldn't have pleased Bruce Lee in the least. Mike Tyson's mansion. From the martial arts maestro to the heavyweight boxing titan, Mike Tyson dominated the sporting world in the 80s and 90s. During his reign, his opulent mansion served as both a residence and a training ground. The lavish estate boasted an indoor pool, an exquisite wrought-iron spiral staircase, and extravagant features like walls and ceilings adorned with cash. To top it off, the property housed cages for his 4 tigers. However, by 1999, Tyson sold the mansion to a buyer who later ended up in prison. Consequently, the house fell into disrepair and was eventually donated to a church. One can only hope the tigers found a safe and responsible home before the property's decline. Chateau Miranda. Nestled in Belgium lies Chateau Miranda, a former haven of luxury now shrouded in decay. The reason for its abandonment? An owner determined not to sell. This magnificent structure's history stretches back to the French Revolution, when the original landowners sought refuge. Eventually, a grand castle rose on the land, Chateau Miranda. The property witnessed its share of conflict, serving as a battleground during World War II and being occupied by German forces. After the war subsided, it found new life as a children's camp, echoing with laughter for many years. But once more, it was forsaken and left to crumble. Now, Chateau Miranda stands in a state of disrepair, a silent plea for restoration waiting to be answered. The Peter Grant Mansion. The Peter Grant Mansion is a stark reminder of the fleeting nature of fortune. Peter Grant, a businessman who thrived in the 1980s, built this lavish dream home on land he acquired in Ontario. Lavish photos showcase the mansion's grandeur, a sprawling living room, a majestic hall. However, fate dealt him a cruel hand. The financial crisis of the late 2000s struck, wiping away his wealth. His business, his house, everything vanished. The unfinished mansion was seized by the courts, never to be completed by its new owners. Now it stands as a monument to ambition dashed by harsh reality, a cautionary tale of overreach and the sudden shifts of fortune. Gino Camoto Mansion. Gino Camoto, known as the Ginza Property King, was a real estate tycoon in Japan who epitomized living large. He constructed an elaborate and luxurious mansion that many liken to a Bond villain's lair. However, Kawamoto had a significant flaw. He despised paying taxes and avoided them for a long time. Eventually, the government caught up with him, leading to his imprisonment and a hefty fine. Consequently, his mansion now stands abandoned, serving as a stark reminder of the perils of tax evasion. The Mossman Mansion. In Australia, the Mossman Mansion was built by the wealthy Pira family to capitalise on the stunning scenic views of the region. The Piras were well known in Australia, with a family legacy that spanned wide and far. However, like many families with grand estates, they were not immune to the passage of time. One by one, the family members passed away, leaving the mansion abandoned. Today, the once grand estate is home to squatters, a hangout for teenagers, and is covered in graffiti. Ironically, the Pira family is still listed as the homeowners, despite the recorded owners having died in 1989. These are just a few examples. Let me know in the comments if you're curious about other abandoned mansions built by millionaires or billionaires who no longer call them home. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please let me know by clicking the like button, do share, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch up our next video.